home alone. First, I slipped through the village, then over the bridge, across the river, and then, finally, through the forest. The road crawled among the trees for 10 minutes. There were no passerby, and only sometimes cars creeped by me, as if afraid to sink in snow. I tried walking as fast as possible, because white from the snow branches and black trunk created an illusion of someone wandering the forest. Somebody tall, sneaky, who could turn into a tree or a snow pile, and then, when nobody was looking at them, continue their journey along the road. Yo, Antoshka! My heart nearly stopped. From the darkness behind the pines, just like cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Simeon with a bunch of his cronies. And who do we have here? Catch this, Four Eyes. They surrounded me like a carnivorous pride, making me step back. The smell of sweat and tobacco attacked my nostrils. The inside of my mouth felt salty, as if I'd licked a battery. Look at this sucker, guys. He tripped so hard at school that he broke the floor. Who will repair it now? Will you pay for it, wimp? Don't you worry, we'll teach you how to walk right. Oh man, he's got a ring on. Someone brought a sizable signet ring up to my face with some geometric shape carved into it. In a moment, I'll hit your face so hard, it'll leave a mark for the rest of your life. A wheezy whisper left my lips. Stop! And my head tilted forward, hitting his fist. Red sparks flew from my eyes. They're gonna gang up on me and beat me up. Yosha, or Biasha, give me a hand. He gave me a rough push towards the bastard with slanting eyes, and he tripped me. I fell and hit the sharp crust of ice, and he stepped on my hand, stopping me from getting up. A painful groan has left my throat. Did you hear him whimper? Is he... I started to lose breath from anger and resentment. The pain was growing. My ear was hot and pulsating pain was shooting through it like it was cut off and a ball of nettle was sewn in its place. Why so silent, Antoshka? Come on, tell us. At that moment, I felt unbridled rage, the amalgamation of my anger. Like the Sprouts ink, it rose up from the depths of my mind, filling all my thoughts. Morons. Did you know that my dad... This became the last straw. Fear and anger were grappling inside me like mad dogs. He knows Aikido, got it? And he's a vet. He'll kill the likes of you with his eyes closed. One word from me and he'll... The boy in the tracksuit raised his hand, stopping the torrent of lies, and made a couple of steps forward. Simeon slowly backed off, giving me the opportunity to stand up. It was a surprise for me. Seems like Baburin wasn't the leader of their gang. In reality, everybody listened to the boy who looked like a small carnivore with firm, sharp teeth. The pines swayed like silent guardians. Did he believe me? Or was he confused by my face, that it twisted by rage? A vet, you say? My dad also fought in the war. An Afghan. And yours? Mine too. Oh, really? And what force did he serve in? I stumbled. My fear got my rage by the throat and spilled its blood. Full of it, Romka. You think I'm so easy to trick? I can see through your lies. There was a nasty smile on his face now. This didn't bode well for me. Well, you've asked for this. Pray that they'll find your dead body come spring, eh? And if you stayed silent, you wouldn't have lost a hair. You were already physically harming me. Where my dad spent time under fire on international duty. Give him a good pounding. The Doomkins closed in on me again, and I ended up in front of Semyon. Blood was pumping in my temples. The branches were swaying back and forth as if whispering something, giving me hope. I gritted my teeth, fighting the thought that I looked silly, and took a boxing stance I often saw in the movies. What are you, Mike Tyson? That was my first ever fight. Or this was my first ever fight. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. If I don't kick the bucket, of course. At the edge of my vision, I noticed the darkness around us rise again, as if someone was walking through it back and forth. I sensed Roma's claws grab my backpack. It'll get in the way. I was about to refuse, not wanting to cooperate with him, but then he fished a butterfly knife out of his pocket and with one smooth motion put its blade to my neck. Hey, easy, buddy. I can make it painful. Sixth grade! This is 6th grade! I let out a cloud of steam instead of words. Romka pulled with all his might. My backpack ended up in his hands, calm and relaxed. An insidious smile on his face, he looked into my backpack. Are you hiding something from us? Someone stole your shoes. Let's see if it was you. And what's this? So what do we have here? My text, my notebooks fell in the snow. He was holding my backpack with one hand and something weird in his other. It looked like I have a bunny mask. He lifted it high as if showing it to someone else. To someone in the treetops and the twilight among the trees. Old bunny mask. Long worn out ears, barely visible nose and whiskers, mangy fur on its sides. Where did it come from? Who put it there? He laughed. Are you really a loony? It's not mine. How come? It was in your backpack. Romka was watching this scene unfold with an evil smile on his face. You know what? Put it on. Why? Because I'm telling you to. You'll hop like a bunny for us. Yeah, come on. Anything but this. What if something from our class will pass by? For example, Polina. No. Put it on him. He brushed to his friend's side and took the wore-out mask from him in a buffoonish bow. Then he passed it to Semyon, who was already rubbing his hands in anticipation. I looked around the pine woods, as if waiting for help, as if the shadows that rise around us would take pity on me and take my side. Branches looked like arms, twisting at unusual angles. The blackened bark was their charred skin, and the darkness was the smoke they produced. I can't run. Won't get away. They'll catch me. And then... here. It'll fit better this way. Ah, jeez. He hurled a huge portion of spit on the inside of the plastic bunny mask and put it close to mine. His spit looked like a squash spider. Romka's face twisted. He spasmed like a beast, as if he wanted to tell Semyon something, but then he suddenly stopped. He was still close by, with a disgusting smirk on his face and a terrible smell coming from his mouth. Put it on, fast, or you're dead. The mask almost looked even more disgusting now, yet, despite everything, I felt like it was a chance for salvation. It could become my second skin. If only I was to put it on. If only my face against the bumpy surface, and the fur will glitter, and the ears will come alive. I just need to put it on, and he and his friends will be gone. Forever. I mean, I don't have any other options. I don't think. I reached out. My hand wasn't shaking anymore. Because I don't know if this game has, like, a timer to it. Like, in the very beginning, when we're reading our book at breakfast, and it seems like our only option is to put the book away, I wonder how long, if there even is a timer. Alright, here we go. He handed me the mask and let out an evil laugh. The fur felt warm to the touch, just like I expected. I got goosebumps. Electric energy flowed through my spine. This is it. My salvation. A voice whispered to me from the well of my subconscious. Just put it on, and nobody will hurt you. The forest froze, gazing back at me with cracks in the bark. I acted slowly. I took off my glasses, got rid of the nasty spit on the paper mache. There was movement inside of the bunny mask, as if something was trying to break out, and I needed to help it. I lifted the mask up and started moving it toward my flaming cheeks. Just like in that movie with Jim Carrey, this mask had power, had strength. Carton touched my skin and enveloped my skull and nostrils and took the shape of my face. It smelled like animal lair and pine. My lips touched something sort of hard and wavy material, my armor. Strangely enough, through its slits of the old carnival mask, I was able to see as good as through my glasses. The trio of boys, frozen in the clearing, snowflakes, frozen in the air, the trees whose shadows formed black streams toward me, and a weird silhouette in the early twilight behind the windfall. In that silence, he nervously whispered, "Hey guys, what's up with him?" I broadened my shoulders. My muscles felt like they were made of steel. Inside, plumes of fog flew towards me, breaking off the trees. I was absorbing the forest power with every pore of my body. I smiled. They're looking behind me. They're not looking at me. I smiled underneath the mask. No, I showed my teeth. My fists were itching. My stomach was growling. "He's turning. You asked for this." I made a step forward. He carefully stepped towards me, as if he was breaking on thin ice. The trail from my dreams was weaving itself in front of me again. Endless, alluring, it was beckoning me away from all the problems to the new wonderful world, the world of Magic Neverland. I pulled on the zipper, opened my coat, and threw it into the snow in a fast motion, and then growled. I felt like something was frantically looking for the exit underneath my skin. I went toward him. "He's turning." Turning. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that coming. The clearing blew up in hysteric laughter. He was clutching his stomach, and he smirked, shaking his head. And Simon, who was laughing the most out of the three, spat on his knuckles and waved his fist like a club. "You're such a moron, Tosha." A fist collided with my mask. The fur didn't dampen the blow at all. There was no power, no magic smoke coming from the pines. I flew towards the bushes and landed in my butt. My vision, no longer bolstered by adrenaline, returned to normal. Now that was something. Thought he'd get on fours and tear us to bits. Like a carrot. Yo, did you see that? Did you? Does this count as him hopping? This was even better. He sobbed. The mask had one advantage. If I cried now, no one would see my tears. What a loony. He put his knee into the snow pile and ripped the glasses out of my numbed fingers. "Give my glasses back. I won't make it home." Haven't you heard? The bunnies have a good sense of smell. Don't worry, just use it. Sheeran shoved the trophy into his pocket and flashed me a toothy grin. Besides, bunnies don't wear glasses. Now scram. The trees became a blurry dark wall, and 3 bright silhouettes were wobbling around me. There were black spots on them, their eye sockets and mouths, but it looked to me like there was more of them than it should be. I turned to the forest. His boot came to my rescue, kicking me in the butt and quickening my shameful retreat. Hippity hop, hippity hop. I threw the mask into the ravine out of spite, and then zigzagged through the firebreak, alone in the giant snow-laden world. The tree trunks around me bent in all directions. Their treetops disappeared into the darkness above me. The sky was pushing me down. I wanted to cry, but my eyes were completely dry now. Only sadness and longing were left. The desire to bury myself under the snow or leave for the Netherland, joining Vova and Senya. I didn't care where to go, just somewhere far away from here, somewhere very far away. Hey, what's this? Where are your glasses, Antone? Did you lose them? See, How can you be so careless? You think I own a money printing press? Yeah, right, you'll be wearing your old glasses until next year. Olia rushed to me. Saw a fox! Surprise, akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips and reply. The cap shattered into many little pieces with a loud thang. Mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity. Then my mom spoke with disappointment. First it was an owl, now it's a fox. Will you ever get tired of this? But it's true. She was so fluffy. She stood on her back legs, near the hedge, just like a person. The fox called my name, but Mom came and she fled. There was no fox. Stop making up things. Don't go near her. If it was necessary, I was ready to shake my sister, as if she was a doll made of cloth. What's wrong, Tosha? Don't go. You hear me? Mom entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated. Well, a fox will bite you. I remembered fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagined Elisa, liberated, carnivorous, running through the night forest with a dangling sack in her hands. It wasn't a real fox. Tell him, Olia. She stood on two legs and she wore a dress. And she was real. See? Mom showed us a tired smile, as if it was the only explanation needed. I also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolved completely on your palm. But then I was left alone with my sister. I whispered, If you see her again, run. I shut my eyes and threw the vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please, stop driving me mad, please. I was doing my homework on a Friday evening like usual. I've already finished the hard part. There was only my art homework left, my favorite subject. I want to paint. I mean, I guess we're gonna paint. You say draw, but I needed to draw some sort of magical beast. I wanted to draw a dino at first, but my brush reached towards the orange paint all by itself. What? Oh. One stroke after another, the picture of a fox started slowly forming on a piece of paper. She was almost popping out of the snow-white sheet. She stood on her back legs and wore a sly smile. My brush moved again, drawing a fluffy tail. A moment later, I dropped out my weak hand. After I finished my drawing, I spent a while studying it in surprise, as if I couldn't understand where did this red beast come from. The longer I looked, the scarier her smile felt. Carnivorous, fake, like the smiles women from Women Form adult magazine sold in press kiosks back in the city wore. An alluring smile that masked deep-seated malice, and the fox's eyes turned out red as if bloodshot. The more it looked like bullet holes they showed in action movies. I don't remember drawing eyes like that. I moved away from the table, and the lamp's light reflected from the white painting. Drawing was glossy. It felt like the fox was watching me, waiting. Oh, gosh, Dad, why? Are you deaf? I I was just thinking. I'll ask you again, have you seen your sister? She's hiding somewhere again. Something moved under my bed and I froze. Olia's dirty face peeked out with a finger pressed to her lips. Shh. Olia, I can see you. Get out of there, you're covered in dust. Olia crawled from under the bed and started dusting off her stockings, looking down. Let's go. I'll read you a fairy tale. I'll keep you company until you fall asleep. I want to fall asleep with you, not in that room. It's... Mom entered the room. What, the owl again? And what do you think? Olia, it won't come anymore. I chased it away. Olia shook her head in defiance. You didn't. And it will come. It said it will come every night. Oh, it talks now. Olia ignored the question and then asked a newfound determination. Can I sleep with you? Please. This will be the last time. You say that yesterday was the last time? Olia, you're already a big girl. Why don't you let her sleep in my room? I thought it was a great idea. But Olia shook her head again. No, I don't want your room. It watches you too. I felt goosebumps all over my body. Enough. There's no owl. You're sleeping in your own room tonight, got it? Mom, please. Please. Well, Mom took Olia's hand and tried to lead her out of my room. Let's go, sweetie. Don't bother your brother. Olia clutched the bed's head with her free hand. Please, please, please. I don't want to go to it. Mom was tugging Olia towards herself, but she didn't budge, and only the bed's head squeaked in agony. Dad intervened by picking Olia up and carrying her out of the room, despite her desperate protests and pleas. No, don't take me to it. It's gonna watch me again. I've listened to them struggling to make my sister go to bed for a while. In the end, my parents gave up and let Olia sleep with them. But it was surely the last time. Ever. When everybody settled down, I was lying in my room thinking about Olia's words. It's watching you too. I felt uncomfortable. I barely managed to calm down, only after closing the curtains in my room shut. But as soon as I closed my eyes, the memories of my day started jumping around in front of me. I was in the middle of a stuffy school corridor. I could see the classroom from here. The faces of dead classical writers on their portraits, the prim and regal pose of our own homeroom teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. And around that corner was her daughter, Katya, a snitch and a gossip, eagerly waiting for me. Hey, transfer student. What do you want, Katya? She got on her tiptoes and started swaying, while hiding her hands behind her back, and then asked me with a fake smile on her face, Can I ask you something? Why did you get transferred here? I think I might have told the truth about this to Polina, but Caddy here will sell it on the market for 3 kopekas. It would be the same as printing all my thoughts and handing them near Vova's picture for everyone to see. So I reverted to an answer I knew by heart. Well, it's all because of my parents. My dad has a new job here, and my mom... But she wasn't even listening to me. Just rushed towards the perked ears of her friends and whispered something while stealing glances at me, giggling. Yeah, right. He takes us all for fools. I've heard it's all because of his father. He crossed the road to some big shot, and now the family is hiding in our remote little village. It's not true. You're lying. Did you hear? Did you hear how Babarin beat him up? And all I could do was look pathetic and take it. Stop it. You know he wasn't alone. And as that wasn't enough, there are rumors that the weirdo carries around a bunny mask on him wherever he goes. Who in the right mind would do something like that, huh, girls? I see. Our Tony boy must be insane in the membrane. Maybe he's an artist, but what if he's a serial killer? I'm sure you'll be able to find an axe in his backpack if you look hard enough, or something even worse. Yes, that's right. Shut up. Look at him scream, as if something bit him. His pupils, look at how wide they are. I hope you won't go insane and resort to violence again. I mean, there must be a reason his mom always feed him those pills, right? I just stood there in confusion, trying in vain how she was able to find out about my medicine. And what scared me even worse was the possibility of a horrifying truth hiding her among her chatter. Yes, that's right. He's as insane as his little sister. Can you imagine that she says a human-sized owl visits her every night? Yes, that's right. But not a single healthy person not a single healthy person has seen it. And this simpleton believes her. Can you imagine that? And then I caught a single kind nod from the smirking crowd. How can it be, Anton? Are you unwell? Polina, please listen to me. Yeah, right. Don't listen to this liar, Polinchka. This loser can't even stand up for himself, and he won't be able to defend you if it comes down to it. He'll run away to protect his own skin. Weakling. Polina slouched as if someone kicked her in the stomach, and then burst out in tears and fell to the dirty floor, wailing and screaming. No! No! Why, Anton? Why? I can't understand her reaction, but I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shoved violently by Katia. Get your paws off her, you monster! Rage was building under the veil of my fear. It slowly rose from the cloudy mist. I felt my upper lip creep up, showing my teeth. The fact that your father beats your mother doesn't give you the right to do the same thing to girls. My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. I came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katia. He went completely insane. At the same moment, the crowd around her became louder, started whistling and roaring and growing. The slender silhouettes of students became larger, wider. They shot up towards the ceiling, turned into giant black forests, chock full of toothy faces. I shrank into a tiny ball of fur and started shaking in fear before the might of ulcer-ridden trunks that belonged to either trees or humans. It was impossible to tell. So you've finally shown your animal nature. Coward. Katia's face was twisted by jubilation and ecstasy. Anton, why? No. Why did you do this to me? She screamed while choking on her tears. He is just an animal, an outsider. A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. Two giant white ears descended somewhere from above, and I dug myself into them. Anton, please, wake up. I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently, I was thrashing around for hours on sweat-soaked sheets. Only a scream pulled me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear. I don't think that's actually her. Anton, please, wake up. Wake up. It took my eyes a while to focus on the silhouette near the window. Olia's voice was distant. My head was still ringing after the fight. Sounds got distorted, as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as stressed as ever, kept on repeating the same phrase. The owl, please, I'm scared. Her tears poured on my heart like boiling water. but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, this scared Alia wouldn't have woken me up. Wait a second, Alia. You want me to read Murs Bilka for you? Give me. I placed my bare heels on the cold floor, felt around for my glasses, remembered Semyon and his mean actions inside. Anton, please, please, look. She couldn't tear her eyes off the window, as if it was a staring contest. I found the light switch with my hand. The lamp poured bright light all over me. Got up from the bed. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer, only to push it farther the next moment. My sister was just a blurry spot. With a careful step forward, her feet aren't actually there. That's not the sister this time. Oh yeah? What's there? What happened? You want me to open the curtains? No, please don't. The owl is there. The voice was coming from behind. I turned around and froze from terror. Teary-eyed Olia stood in the doorway. Who are you talking to right now? She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying, with her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid to hear my answer. I was talking to you. To someone who pretended to be you. The ledge outside my window creaked ominously, as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And that thing that pretended to be Alia started spreading, changing shape, grow to scary heights under the light of the carnivorous moon. Anton, please, come closer, come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. That thing that was hiding behind the curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping that the silhouette near the window was just a continuation of my nightmare, a hallucination brought upon by the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? The silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Olia's shrill scream when someone had knocked on the window. It came to get us. Another knock. I stepped back to the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. The lamp started shimmering, then it suddenly lighted the hole and went out, like a candle under a strong wind. The filament inside it snapped with a ringing sound. The darkness that was waiting for that exact moment poured from all angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. The moonlight fell through it, painting everything the color of bones that were exhumed from a crypt. Olia started squealing and pressed herself into my back, seeking protection. And then an eye, burning with a carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. No, it wasn't trying to break the window, it was toying with us. It just kept knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time we had left, its pendulum kept swinging above the abyss. Go away, shoo, leave us be. She was screaming in desperation, her hands clutching my arm like a pair of pincers. Anton, come closer. I could barely make out the pair of wings that spread out above the black spot. Tell her, Anton. Tell it that I won't be a bad girl anymore. Never ever. I just wanted to leave, please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared, and the room descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eye anymore. I swallowed the stingy lump that was stuck in my throat. I stepped toward the curtains, entranced by the call of this disfigured guest. Olia was standing behind me, mumbling, I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good. The bleak window was creeping closer. Curtains rustled. I reached out to move the curtain aside so I could look my fear in the eye. At that moment, I heard noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtain aside in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. My glasses. Yo! The ones that Simeon took from me. How did they get here? Was that a gift from the gurgling night? Did that owl really bring them here? I looked at the front yard, at the foreboding clearing, at the toothy forest. Not a soul, not even a hint of our late guest. Only the old lamppost, dreaming like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. I tore away the insulating tape and the strips of glued newspapers. I barely managed to open the window. Frost stung me with its little needles. The paint on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses. Sure, they would melt in my hands, but they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Simeon and his gang just pulled a prank on me, that was it. And a smooth white blanket was glittering under the street lamp just outside our yard. If anybody was to get close to the house, to climb the pipe to the ledge of my window, they would surely leave footprints, but there were none. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me into the darkness, full of restless writhing. Why aren't you in bed? I swayed from surprise and almost fell out the window. Are you out of your mind? Did it feel hot in here? Do you want to catch a cold? The owl was here. Portia chased it away. Go to your room immediately and get in your bed. And you, Mom paused, directing her seething eyes at me. She was thinking of a punishment equivalent to my mistake. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Ollie by the shoulder, and left, leaving me with her last grim words. We'll talk tomorrow. I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits, pressed in the latches with all the strength my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like a face, more like a death mask. The boy from the Something Had It Too. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. A black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between student heads. This is our bully. This isn't the same guy. And it wasn't Vova. His face was beside it. I recognized the fat cheeks, the damaged skin. He left for school on the 16th and never returned. Simeon. His photo was printed out and placed under the glass, like an exhibition piece. Nice. We're deeply grateful for anyone who purchased the game in early access. That's awesome. So if you enjoy this kind of game, I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff too. A lot of achievements. I think I only grabbed 2, and I think there's 17 available right now, if that's your kind of thing. But if you stayed with me for this long on the stream, thanks for watching. I do have the first episode of my original reactions up on YouTube, because I wasn't sure if this was a continuation or not. But yeah, have a good day, and thanks so much.